Hi, I'm Matt from eSpares. In this video, I'll be showing you how to change the belt on a Hotpoint, Creda or Indeset condenser tumble dryer. If your machine is making all the right noises, but the drum isn't spinning, it's likely that the belt has broken and you'll need to replace it. Safety first, always unplug an appliance before carrying out any work. The next thing I need to do is to remove the top of the appliance by undoing these two screws at the back. With the top out the way, I next need to remove this side panel, which is held on by one screw at the top and four at the back. With the side panel removed, we can now see the broken belt. So I'll just take that off the drum. And to be able to fit the new belt, it either needs to drop in around the front of the drum or around the back of the drum. Now, in order to do that, I need to now remove the second side panel. With the second side panel removed, I now need to release the water container housing by undoing these hoses at the back and undoing these two screws. Then I need to release the electrical connectors from the mains filter and undo these two screws that hold on the top bracket. These electrical connectors are usually held in by tabs, so just use your fingernail or your finger to push the tab back and then pull the electrical connector off. I've only taken off the connectors that run down the top bracket here. When putting them back, make sure that blue goes next to blue and brown goes next to brown. With those released, I can now disconnect the top bracket by undoing these screws. With the top bracket released, you can see we now have quite a bit of movement in the cabinet. But just to be sure, just to make sure we've got enough space for the belt to drop over the front of the drum, I'm just going to release a couple of the screws at the back of the panel here. With those screws at the rear of the appliance removed and grabbing our new belt, we have just enough space at the front of the appliance to be able to drop the belt around the front of the drum and underneath as well. With the belt now in place, you can use the belt to lift the drum into position, but as you can see, the front panel isn't going back into place, and that's because the ducting behind this panel has dropped down and is now out of position as well. Easy to deal with. Undo these three screws that hold the lower front panel and ducting in place, and then you can give both front panels a little jiggle to get them back into their correct position. With the front panel now in place, you can re-put in the screws. To secure the cabinet whilst I refit the belt, I'm just going to reconnect the electrical connectors on the mains filter, remembering to put brown wire next to brown wire, and blue wire next to blue, and then I can easily re-screw the upper bracket. Now I can reconnect the water container housing by redoing these two screws and also putting the hoses back in place, and then reconnect this side panel. When replacing these side panels, do be careful of the edges as they can be extremely sharp. The belt needs to be fitted over the motor spindle, which you can see here. To get to the motor spindle though, I need to remove the condenser fan cover by using a flat-headed screwdriver to work it very gently away from the clips. With the condenser fan cover out of the way, I next need to remove the condenser fan itself, which is held in place by a spring clip you can see in the center there. So grab a pair of pliers and pinch the clip, which should help it release off the motor spindle. And then you can remove the fan. If the fan's a bit stiff, you can use a flat-headed screwdriver and just give it a couple of knocks, which should help it release. With the fan out of the way, you next need to get the belt underneath the motor spindle, and to do that, pull it nice and taut and make sure you're spinning it quickly, because there isn't much give between the frame underneath and the spindle itself. So just put it nice and taut, nice and quickly, at an angle, and it should ease its way through, like so. So now we need to get the belt over the tension pulley here. Now this is a stretch belt, so give it a good couple of stretches to give it a bit of give. Then make sure it's centrally on the spindle, and you can use the mark that's been left behind by the old belt on the drum as well. Then you can put the belt by pulling it slightly over the tension pulley, and then you can pull the belt down with your other hand to wrap the belt around the pulley, like so. With the belt perfectly in place, I can now reattach the fan, the spring clip that holds it in place, and also the cover. With the fan and the cover back in place, I can now replace the side panel and the top and any remaining screws. So there we have it, one new drive belt fitted to this Hotpoint condenser tumble dryer. Spares and accessories for all appliances can be found on the eSpares website. Thanks for watching.